Well, I'm back at it here again. Today's Friday the 25th, I think, so I got safety stands up under the car, jack just in case. So step one, today we're going to be draining the radiator, which is somewhere back there, I don't know. And we're going to go about changing all these coolant hoses. So I have this one right here to do, and then after I do that one, I have that one to do. There's one back in there somewhere, a couple there. I also have those two as well. And then finally, I'm going to change out the water pumps in some here, and then put pump back on and put everything back together and fill it back up with coolant. Remount the power steering. Oh, hey, that's not supposed to thread. Okay, adding to steps, tighten this bolt up. It's 2 threads, so I guess this isn't a bolt, and hook up the new power steering lines. You can see they're back there, but I gotta figure out how to mount them properly. Anyway, it's time to get to work. Time to waste. Alright, now I'm letting the coolant drain out. I would guess it's maybe halfway done, but I honestly have no idea. I cut the hose too long, so it's pretty much leaking from the spigot itself, and it's splattering. I'll have to put some water down on the ground to help clear it up. But once that's done, we'll move on to doing all the coolant hoses, and hopefully that won't be too bad a job. Alright, well, I've cut the lower coolant hose so I can remove it. Nice looking coolant in there. Anyways, right now I'm going through and just wiping down these lines because the amount of dirt and crud on here is it's no bueno. Just want to wipe it down. Maybe it's me being OCD, but hey, just found out I have some kind of what I believe to be a transmission cooler. I'm not sure if that's factory or not, but I guess that's pretty cool. Anyways, once I finish cleaning off these lines, I will go ahead and remove that, remove the water pump, and we'll be back and rolling in no time, hopefully. Well, I've sliced it. Go ahead and pull it off. So there you go. There's a little bit of sediment in there. Well, at least that's coming off. Remove these plethora of bolts in this pulley and go ahead and swap it over. I'll also move my catch can down there. Make sure it's under it. So let's go. Alright, so I went ahead and I made a template of the water pump. And I used the gasket as my template, and I marked the holes for the big and small bolts that go into the block, so I'll know where they go when I remove them and be able to easily put them back without issue. I got that as a trick off of, I think, some Taurus website, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully it works. Well, since it appears that I have all the bolts off except the one that's being held in by the pulley, time to go ahead and remove this thing. So this thing is definitely like adhered or something. I need to go get a flat. Alright, I have just shimmied it in. Sorry about the wrist strap. So, we will film this. Ooh, we have a bit of leakage. Luckily, I have catch pans. So we'll let that all drip down. It's nice how the exhaust system runs right there so the coolant drips all down. It's an excellent design. Well, this thing may not be as old as I originally thought. This might be actually somewhat new. Okay, well, I just removed the radiator hose that goes between the water pump and I guess these coolant lines that run behind the engine, and it goes in right there, as you can see, which it looks pretty nasty. And this end here goes into the water pump. Radiator hose 70773, use clamp 10 from Daco. You can see in here all this grunge and crap. Equaling this in quite a little bit of sediment there, but nonetheless. Let's go take a look at the water pump. Looks pretty clean on the innards, minus the sediment around some of the edges here. I'm not sure, because I always know that there's supposed to be a weep hole, but to be honest, I don't know what one looks like or where it would be. But nonetheless, the propeller or the fins here look to be in like brand new shape. I don't see any corrosion or anything on them. Maybe this is not a problem on the earlier year model Vulcans. But anyways, see more crud in there. My next task is going to be trying to remove these 4 bolts. Unfortunately, there's no way to put a stop on that. And this is not going to be fun, to say the least. Unfortunately, they didn't put a bolt back there either. So it looks like I need to go find 2 13mm open-ended wrenches, or find a shop who can just quickly zip out these bolts for me so I don't have to play around with it all day. So yeah, that's my next task, besides cleaning up the mating surfaces under the gasket area, making sure they're all clean and ready for a new one. So I can see that the old gasket is definitely still on there. You can sort of see it coming off right there. So I'm going to go to Sears and go get some lunch, and this thing will be done by the end of the day. I also need to stop at the junkyard and pick up some ideas and pictures on how to mount those power steering lines, because I don't remember how they went factory like. But anyways, time to get going here. Alright, well, I finished cleaning up the gasket mating area. I hope that's going to be good enough. I used a sanding disc with some coarse grit, and I went out and bought a new Craftsman gasket scraper. If I knew how to sharpen these, I would definitely do that, because I have another one identical to this, but it's pretty dull after all the other work. So, next task, we'll be taking that pulley and mounting it on the water pump, which is in my Silver Taurus's trunk there. So I'm going to go ahead and get that going. I don't have any pipe sealant, so I'm using Teflon tape to wrap the threads here, hoping that'll make do for the lack of product here. And it's going to go into this hole right here. Alright, so here's where I ended up today. I got the water pump mounted, all the bolts that I could access are torqued down to spec. At least the lower radiator hose plugged in. I need to get the hose clamps clamped on. Otherwise, I just need to replace the hoses as fit around here. Put the pump back on, and I guess we'll be back in business. I took a 3-hour break today to go run some errands, so probably could have got it done today, but the sun's setting the horizon. I think it's time to close up while I still have some daylight to clean up the tools and the car back on the ground. So I guess until another day, we'll pick this back up.